Taking a look at Kyber Network here, it looks like we're just chopping through this zone of resistance and support pretty much with ease, so I'm going to delete it, considering it's not being of much use. I've also changed the fib level to capture this low as well as this high, and you can actually see it's been holding within these ranges pretty well, respecting them for the most part. But you can see from the bounce we've had, from the bottom here to the top, was around a 175% move, so pretty decent. Could very well have a little bit more upside to go, potentially testing somewhere within this red box of resistance before we find another move down, or this could very well be the top. The reason why this could be the top is if we turn on the EMA ribbon and the Ichimoku cloud here on the daily. You can actually see that we've pretty much come up to retest the bottom of the green Ichimoku cloud. You can also see that we have tested the EMA ribbon here on the daily. As I mentioned in my previous videos, especially when the spread gets large like this, we typically never break above it on the first test. As you can see back here, we did break above it on the first test, but it was more of a fake out, and then we continue to trend lower. Even here, when the EMA ribbon was very thin, we found another move down. And even back here, first time we tested, we did find another move down, although it didn't break any lows. And if we keep going back, this is pretty much true all throughout. And if we zoom in here a little bit, you can actually see we did close the daily candle above the 200 EMA, so we really need to be using it as support now. Considering that we didn't really have much of a breakout above it, and we kind of wicked down from this EMA ribbon here, it's not really looking that great. This is probably more of a fake out. If we hop down on the 4-hourly, things are actually looking a little bit worse. We did break above the EMA ribbon here, and we did test it as support, which is a good sign. But here you can see we're currently getting stopped out at the 200 EMA, and we're also trading within a very large red Ichimoku cloud. And this is also the first test we have had of this Ichimoku cloud. You can actually see the top of this cloud is pretty much at the bottom of this red box. So again, we could have another leg up here before we finally find our rejection. EMA ribbon is relatively thin here on the 4-hourly, so if we keep doing something like this where we keep trading sideways, the spread on this is going to thin up, and we could very well break it to the downside. The hourly is actually looking much better. Here you can see we did break above the 200 EMA. We tested it as support as well as the ribbon. We came back down to test the ribbon and the 200 EMA as support again, as well as the green Ichimoku cloud here. We found another move up, and it currently looks like we could very well be breaking the EMA ribbon to the downside. This is because we have had quite a bit of tests of this throughout this move to the upside, and as of right now we are technically in a shorter term downtrend here, so if the downtrend continues, this could very well be somewhat of a correction, and usually these corrections don't follow the EMA ribbon for very long. They usually break through them relatively quickly, so we'll just have to see what happens here soon. If we do break the EMA ribbon to the downside, our last hope is going to be the 200 EMA as well as the green Ichimoku cloud here. But considering this is the hourly chart and we have rejected already out of the EMA ribbon on the daily chart, I suspect that this will have a hard time holding up if we do come down here. As I mentioned in my previous videos, the uptrend is slowing down here, and we've actually set a wick lower than these previous lows here, which really isn't a great sign. We could be entering a new downtrend. And if we do enter a new downtrend here, we really need to hold the 618. As with most cryptocurrencies, once we break the 618 to the downside, the chances of it recovering become more and more slim. But to sum things up here, if this is the top, at least locally, we could be entering a new downtrend, so this would be a lower high than this one, so we should be expecting a lower low, potentially to the 0.5 level on the Fibonacci retracement. This is sitting around 80 cents. If we do have another leg up, I expect some pretty heavy resistance around 332, potentially all the way up to 426, which is at the top of this red box. And if we do break this red box to the upside, have somewhat of a V bottom here, we really need to test this as support and continue higher, or else we could see something like this where we test the previous high and have somewhat of a double top. But as of right now, in my opinion, this really isn't a good sign. This is most likely going to send us lower, as we rarely break this to the upside on the first test of it on the daily chart. So that's all I have for KNC today. If you enjoyed this video, go hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, go and do so, as I try to post content daily. As always, this is not financial advice, and I'll see you in the next one.